Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, all you Facebook users and YouTube users out on the internet there browsing through and looking for different topics. We're sitting at the Cottonwood Falls Water Park, Cottonwood Falls Water Park in Nelson, BC, and we're looking at a building on the side here where some painters have done some beautiful artwork on the side of the building. We're sitting in the car here just looking through the window and appreciating some of the hard work that the artist did here. Very nice. Now, when we take a look at the recognition factor, the artists who do these things have an idea of what they want to create to begin with, and they're actually creating an illusion, and they're creating a picture for the eye of the beholder. So later on, when the person comes along and looks at it, starts to appreciate the hard work that they put into, the painter has put into doing the display on the wall. And I want you to think for a minute how that applies to life. Take a look at some country stars. Like we notice now on a note today that Willie Nelson has passed away, and very popular U.S. entertainer, entertained all over the world, singing country songs and western songs, and very talented entertainer. The world's going to miss him for sure, but he left a hell of a legacy of songs and music for other people to play for years. And sometimes when you follow the life of some of these people, it's called instant recognition. Now, the person who done the painting here, he has a really great feeling about what he's composed there. I get some gratification for all the hard work he's put in, plus he gets paid for it, but the recognition comes later on. Take a look at some of the big name entertainers like Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson, some of those guys, and they made millions of dollars displaying their talent around the world. And they went around and sang and entertained and danced and all kinds of good things for people and made millions of dollars. But they started out searching for a high. Now, a high for them would be probably a little different than the painter here does. The painter paints the thing and he feels good about what he's achieved in doing his painting, happy with what resolution he came out with, or she came out with. If you compare that with an entertainer, we're talking about a violin player, or whether it's a guitar player or singer, somebody performs on stage to entertain people. No, they get their recognition instantly, and usually what happens is the people in the audience clap their hands and say, "Hey, we love you. This is a great thing. Thank you very much." And so they get the recognition for the work that they put into the performance, whether it be playing a violin or whether it be accordion or whatever they play. But they give some recognition for what they've done. And the power of recognition cannot be overlooked. And I think in today's world, what's happening, we've gone through this exercise, pardon me, of having this virus go through, scared the hell out of people. You know, everybody was told, stay home and don't talk to your neighbors and all this kind of thing because you weren't going to get sick and die. And there was a fear-mongering thing that went on right across the world. And people got to the point where they were paranoid about going to see their friends and their neighbors, and society almost got torn apart. Now, I think it's up to you and I and the other people to try and get that back again. And getting it back means to say that we have to be able to talk to one another and go to a real normal talking distance, which is 2 or 3 feet away. Personal space, normal thing, is about 3 feet. So we got to get that back again. That fear, we have to put that fear away and realize that if we're sick, if you wake up one morning and you're really coughing really bad and you're sick, go and see the doctor. They'll fix it. And that's what they're there for. And what happened with this virus thing, they said, oh no, we got to stay away, you got to stay away, go see the doctor. Oh, you make them sick too, and there was too much fear went on, and it almost ruined society. So I think we have to try and get that back. Now, getting back to the recognition factor, the people that done the painting on the wall did a great job. And comparing that with people on the job, whether they be musicians on the stage who are working and singing and entertaining, and whether the people in the audience stand up and clap for them, or whether they buy records off of them, or just a simple write-up in the paper, or whether it be some verbal discussion, or whether you buy a CD and take it home or anything like that, to reward them for what they've done. They're going to get some money for the CD or whatever. But the simple recognition is what's powerful. Now I want you to focus a little bit, see if you think the way I think or not. I'm not saying that you're thinking wrong or I'm thinking right, but think about the nice feeling you get when somebody tells you you're doing a good job. Now, we took a supervisor's training course in Vancouver one time, and the supervisor trainer sat down with us, and two separate groups. One was the same instructor. The instructor in the first time around was well dressed and looked like a really good instructor, and he sat at a table, and there were about 60 people out in the audience sitting at desks and tables and stuff, and he said, today I want you to pretend you're back on the job site, or whether you're back at your home, or whether you're at work site, or whatever you're at. And I want you to tell me about things that you can visualize on the job site to make it better. He says, and I don't care whether it's, whether it's a bigger office, or whether it's a hot tub outside, or whatever it is, but it's whatever comes to your mind. But it has to be achievable and it has to be reasonable. So when you make a recommendation to me, I'm going to write it down, but I want you to tell us what the recommendation is for, and I want you to give me an approximate cost, and I want you to tell me what we will get by doing what you're suggesting. So hands started coming up all over the audience, and this one guy got up and said, well, he said, at my place, he said, I'm working in a welding shop. He said, and it's awfully damn dark in there. He said, it's hard to see. He said, what I'm recommending, he said, we put some more lights in, hang some more lights in the ceiling, he said, and also paint the walls. He said, haven't been painted for a long time. He said, and it will brighten up the atmosphere and make it more cheery to work. And he said, I'm sure we'll increase our productivity. And he said, the benefit from the employees, it's going to be a lot happier. The people are going to be really receptive and happy of the suggestion. Cost is going to be somewhere around $800 or $900, maybe $1,000 maximum. And the instructor wrote, they said, very, very good. We love that. Great idea. Thank you. We're going to write that down and talk to management about it. If they think that we can afford it and it'll pay off, he said, we'll do it. Thank you. So he moves on to another person. He said to another person, what about you? And the person said, well, I'm in a work area. He said, where the tiling on the floor is now starting to go to pieces. And he said, I'm recommending that we put some newer tile on the floor. He said, buy the new tile, the light colored tile. He said, and just replace the tile. And he said, I'm sure it's going to brighten up the area. And we take away the tripping hazard. I'm sure that the people are going to be really happy about the fact that they were able to get something done. So he said, oh, that's a great idea. He said, thank you very much. I said, I'm glad you brought that up. He said, that sounds important. What's it going to cost? And the guy said, well, he said, I'm just going to give you a guess. He said, it's probably about $800. He says, but the fact that it's going to be take away the tripping hazards and people are going to be happier, safer, maybe we'll prevent people from falling down on a job site, he said. And also people will get some recognition from the people about recognizing the fact that a few dollars spent is going to bring up morale in the crew. So anyway, went through the whole building. All the participants had their say, and then he said, "We're going to break for coffee." So we broke for coffee and donuts, and he said, "And I'm going to come back afterwards." He said, "And we're going to show you a different type of supervisor." He said, "You've seen a supervisor here who's receptive. Now we're going to see a different kind, and you'll decide." He said, "In seeing that," he said, "hopefully you'll decide which kind of a supervisor you want to be, and you'll probably analyze what kind of a supervisor you are now, and are you achieving the best that you can for what you're doing." So everybody thought it was, clapped a little bit, and we broke. And the supervisor, the instructor, went outside and he changed his clothes. He came back with a scrubby old jacket and a pair of grubby coveralls and hip waders boots on, and he looked like a fisherman who had a tough day out. And he sat down and he said, "By the way," he said, "I'm your supervisor today." He said, "And I'm here. The boss has sent me down here to see if we can do some improvements." He said, "I think it's a bunch of bullshit, but I got to do it anyway." He said, "I don't believe in this kind of stuff. But anyway, just go through the same exercise we did last time, and we'll see what happens." So the first guy got up, and he said, "I really want to go and do that lighting," he said, "in our area," he said, "and make it nice and bright," he said, "and improve the atmosphere." And the same instructor said to him, "Where the hell did you come up with that kind of stuff?" He said, "We tried this kind of stuff before. It doesn't work," he said. "You just have to just put your head down and start working and stop trying to blame stuff on the bloody company." He said, "You guys have to get out there to perform," he said. "We don't even listen to this kind of stuff," he said. "Not worthwhile." So the whole audience, the group in the building there just kind of went, "Moo." And so they said, "Next," and the guy got up and told you, "Well, I was the guy," he said, "I want to do that flooring." He said, "That people are catching their toes on it," he said, "and it's not smooth anymore." And the guy says to him, "Where the hell do you guys come up with this kind of stuff?" He said, "Pick up your feet," he said, "get some decent shoes," he said, "and watch where the hell you're walking." He said, "Open your eyes up. This is work." He said, "This is not play." And he went through about 4 people out of about 30, and by the time he got to the 4th one, the people in the audience were about ready to throw him out. Well, we were ready to throw the instructor out. And then he stood up and he said, "Now, I want you guys to remember this little exercise," he said, "and I want you to decide which one of the supervisors you think you are." He said, "Are you the guy that writes stuff down and listens to the guys and gets it done? Or are you the kind of a guy that just ignores everything and everybody shoot down everything that people recommendations for improvement?" And he said, "That is the crux of the operation." So I said, "My goal today is to make you aware and let you look at what a good supervisor does and what a supervisor looks like and what the performance is like, and analyze," he said, "what the outcome might be of what you're doing." So he said, and you can decide which one you want to be." And then as a result of that, he said, before the course was over, everybody had to get up and do a 3-minute talk. You had to get up and introduce yourself, and you also had to show something on video. And one guy I remember was one of the crew who brought it was a tire chain off a truck, brought it in and put it on the table. And "I'm going to show you today," he said, "how we change a crossbar on a tire chain in a truck." So he went through the tire pliers and opened up the hooks and took the worn one out and put a new one in its place. And he said, "No, that's how we do it." So the supervisor complimented him and said, "Now look, this is exactly what you have to do with guys on the job site." He said, "The guys basically know what they do, but," he said, "there's the odd time when you have to spend some time with the guys and what is a new procedure or something like that, and coach people," he said, "and also teach the young people to talk to the older guys on the crew and share ideas." He said they call them quality circles in places like Japan and China where they manufacture vehicles. And they sit down once a week or twice a month, and they talk about how's things going on in your area and what kind of can you come up with any recommendations on what you can do, stuff like that, and try to get improvements done. Now, if somebody comes up with a good idea, they sometimes get a free trip to Hawaii or a free trip to Mexico, and it's a motivational tool. So I think sometimes we forget, we can easily forget how nice it is to receive some compliments. Holding a door open for a senior who going into a coffee shop, a senior who has trouble walking, where you hold the door open for the person here you go, sir, give you a hand, or help you put some groceries in your car, or a simple thing like, thank you very much. And the supervisor on the job site has a lot of power to create good human relations by talking to the people in the morning, say, thanks for coming to work this morning, you do a hell of a job, and we appreciate having you as an employee. And also, if you had a really busy day, at work and you had lots of work and you accomplished lots, nice to talk to the guys and give them a cup of coffee and maybe a piece of pie or a pizza and say, thanks very much, guys. You guys really did it today. You pulled the load. You've done a good job, and we appreciate having you. And thanks very much for working for us. We appreciate you. So I think in those kinds of situations, the supervisor has a lot of influence on the crew, telling them what's expected of them and giving recognition. Now, in the world today with the computers, with flat rates and stuff like that, we have opportunity to backfeed stuff to people and say, okay, this is a little bit of analysis of have we done on changing tires or changing shock absorbers or whatever it is. But it gives a flat rate, say, okay, this particular product to do this job, the flat rate's $2 or 2 hours or 2 hours or $6 or 6 hours, whatever the case may be. But it also gives you an opportunity then to compare and say, okay, well, the flat rate is 6 hours and we're doing it in 4. So you guys are doing a hell of a job. So give recognition that way. And in some cases, they can be given, if there's a factor there where they can be given a bit of an incentive in dollars or a day off or maybe a supper. But the fact of recognition is really important, and it can happen in families. It can happen with the mother of the family where she's making meals, and the people that are receiving the meals can say, geez, Mommy, you did a hell of a job. You're a great cook. We've seen that many times where the lady of the family is a really good cook, and it's called Mom's Home Cooking. Remember that? Think back. How many times we had all the beautiful meals from the mother cooking? And that's how they get their pleasure, by doing stuff for us, and sometimes a little bit of recognition like that goes a long, long ways. So have yourself a great day, and think about the painter that painted the mural on the wall, and think about the musician, and also think about Elvis Presley and also Michael Jackson, how their demise came about. They got their highs from recognition, from people clapping and saying they were doing a really good job. But pretty soon they got to the point where they couldn't get enough highs. And if you start getting your highs from alcohol or drugs, it ruins the human concept altogether. The mind is consumed with alcohol or drugs. So we have to get our high, but as we get older, right now I'm getting my highs by walking around, talking to people and getting exercise, enjoying the fresh air, and enjoying some of the beautiful scenery we see here by paintings on the walls, and trying to draw some kind of a concept about how we accept some of the benefits of the things that people do for us. And are you truly recognizing what a good job that the people in our lives do? And I'm very thankful. We have lots of nice friends and neighbors and family, and we're grateful for everything we've had in our lifetime. So I hope you are truly grateful as well. And have yourself a great day.